Shekinah has to.
I'm calling for Osika. He's coming!
I hear the beta monkeys.
Are you coming with us to the stuff?
No, I had a desperate raving moment and realized I would be going shopping with 3 women.
Welcome to another day. I am so excited to be here. I hope you guys have been having a great day, and I hope you guys have been having a great week so far. I know that we didn't really film much this week, but we've been really busy, so I'm really glad to get back in front of the camera, take you guys along on my day. Today is going to be a little bit different because I really want to talk about what is happening with the latest case with the Daunte Wright case and how it's similar to the George Floyd case and talk about the media. But we're also going to be going to eat. I'm going to take you guys along. Before we get started into the video, what do they need to do?
What you mean, cuz?
Before we get into the video, what do they need to do?
Before we get to the video, please like and subscribe to Danielle's channel and hope for more content. I messed up on the end.
Yes, sir. When I first saw the case, I was tempted to believe everything that the media was putting out, that he was an innocent person, that the police officer should be held responsible for misfiring, etc., etc. So let's look at the exact facts. Daunte Wright had a criminal record. He had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. There were multiple times that he had failed to show up to court, and he had been arrested before for armed robbery, and then he had been let go on a $100,000 bail. He had certain requirements. He didn't meet those. Facts 2, the police officer pulled him over for an expired license plate. When they realized who he was, they proceeded to arrest him because he had a warrant for his arrest. Now, this is where the police officer went wrong. When he asked, "Why are you pulling me out of the car?" he has the right to know exactly why he's being pulled out of the car. She should have said, "We have a warrant for your arrest, so you are being arrested." Fact number 3, when they started to arrest him, he fought back and he resisted the police. He tried to get back into the driver's seat, and if you watch the body cam footage, you will see that he actually did resist and tried to fight them. Fact number 4, the police officer, according to the body cam, meant to grab for her taser and instead pulled for her gun. She didn't mean to shoot him with her gun, but she ended up shooting him with her gun. Now that we have that information, what do we do with that? Well, we realize that number 1, the police officer made a mistake and consequences should be met. The second thing we need to realize is that Daunte was not just some innocent person who was pulled over for no reason at all. Any person would get pulled over for an expired license plate.
Do I want?
Where are we?
Culver's.
Oh, what are those? Oh, what is this? We are now at Culver's. We're grabbing a bite to eat because none of us feel like making food. One thing I want to say too is I think it's really easy to make conclusions and we need to be careful. So conclusion number 1, Daunte Wright is a criminal. He had multiple warrants for his arrest. He had failed to appear in court multiple times. Conclusion number 2, the police officer who shot him should have told him that they had a warrant for their arrest and not just said, "Oh, we'll tell you when you get outside." He has the right to know. So that's where she did something unconstitutional and she didn't follow her job. Conclusion number 3, you should not pull your gun when you're supposed to pull your taser because that is a mistake. But here's something to note. Candace Owens tweeted this out, and she's actually right. Doctors make fatal mistakes all the time, but you never see anybody riot, and you never see anybody loot. You never see anybody destroying their neighborhoods because a doctor made a fatal mistake. But when a police officer makes a fatal mistake, it only matters when that cop is white and the victim is black. Only then do people destroy their own neighborhoods. So we have to ask ourselves the question, why is the media doing this? And why is it only a particular victim? And why isn't there looting and rioting when doctors make fatal mistakes?
Wait, hold on. Then you gonna record me? Okay, but don't look at me though. Right. Devil thinking he had problems for me, so you don't really want no problems with me. I got a God, you a God, and 3, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, yeah, to look. Woo!
Hey! Aaron, there are a lot of girls out there who want a conservative man, but they feel like anytime they try to talk to one or anytime they like one, like the guy won't ask them out. So what's your advice for a conservative girl looking to get the attention of a man?
Wear clothes that don't show your whole body. Pray, because God gonna send them your way. That's what I've been told. He gonna send her my way, so I'm gonna keep betting on that.
Maybe you're the one that he's praying for. You never know.
I hope so. I really do.
Some girl DMs me and is like, "Hey, I've been praying for Aaron."
Nobody DMs you about me though.
Okay, I think this is really funny. I asked them if they wanted to come with me to Auntie Anne's to get pretzel, and they didn't want to follow me or come with me, and now look who's coming. No! What? Guys, it's closed. It's literally closed. No! We are in my favorite store, which is Zara, and I have found Ariel and Chicana, so I'm gonna go scare them. Oh my gosh, why? Scare the mess.
Because you like to scare people.
You almost got decked. You almost got decked. Chicana has to go.
I'm calling for Osika. He's coming!
I hear the beta monkeys.
Are you coming with us to the stuff?
No, I had a desperate Raven moment and realized I would be going shopping with 3 women. So
Can you
I
just come? Bruh, can you just come?
No, 3 women means.
We're not going for a long time. I have to come back and do my makeup because I have the photo shoot.
Oh, I know. I've heard that before from women.
All right, let's go. We gave him a chance. We're headed to H&M right now, and as we go, I'm going to conclude my thoughts. And then the other thing that I thought I would do for you guys is I asked you guys to send in a bunch of questions. You guys sent in your questions, so I thought I would answer them. We talked about what happened with George Floyd and the 2 cases and how George Floyd, everyone was so ready to jump on a bandwagon. I was even ready to jump on the bandwagon, and I almost jumped on the bandwagon with Daunte Wright because as far as the media was concerned, he was an innocent man who was pulled over for no other reason than it was a routine traffic stop, and she was racially motivated, etc., 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 when actually the case was he was a convicted criminal. He had been arrested. He had been let go on a $100,000 bail. He had failed to appear in court multiple times, and he was pulled over because his license plate was expired. I've been pulled over because of expired plates. So the facts are not all what the media says. The media is going to manipulate facts.
I don't know why people make this such a complicated issue when it's really not. Cops are not gods. They make mistakes, but we are thankful for them and for like how they serve this country and what they do to protect the American people. Obviously, cops are not above the law, and cops are going to make mistakes because of human error. Humans make mistakes. That's just the way life is. Every law enforcement or police precinct should act accordingly to whatever a cop did, and they should punish that cop accordingly to whatever they did. They're not above the law, obviously. And as American citizens, it's important for us not to resist arrest, because I believe that the vast majority of police brutality cases would be dissipated to almost nothing if people didn't resist arrest.
And let's be honest, even though I think it was unconstitutional for her not to tell him why he was getting out of the car, like I would not get out of my car unless they had a warrant and they showed it to me and they told me this is why you're getting out of the car. So it was unconstitutional for her to do that. But despite that, once he had already gotten out of the car, if he hadn't fought them, he wouldn't have gotten shot. So that mistake would have never been made if he had not resisted. And it's not that hard. If he didn't want that to happen, he should have never gotten out of the car, and he should have demanded to see the warrant for his arrest.
Yes, and again, that's something where it's imperative that we know our rights, we don't resist arrest, and that the cop follows their training and follows the Constitution and follows the law, because they're not above the law. And if all of those 3 things are intact, I think a lot of these issues would resolve. And I also just think that it's so ridiculous that people look at this specific case and say, okay, well, the whole system is corrupt. The whole system is corrupt. No, the system isn't corrupt, but there are corrupt people in it. So corrupt people are gonna make bad decisions. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna make errors. They're gonna twist the law. They're gonna do things that aren't right. But the system itself isn't predicated on discrimination coming from a law enforcement perspective. It's based off of crime and how they can protect the American people. And so those are all things that I think people need to actually pay attention to if we're actually ever going to resolve police brutality. Because I don't think police brutality is a massive issue, because I don't think that the majority of cops are bad people and that they have an intention to kill. And killing isn't, as frequent as people like to make it out to be.
One other thing I think that is very interesting to note, just I think it's ironic and I guess shows how things come around, is the girlfriend of George Floyd just claimed that she was a high school teacher of Daunte, Wright. Which I just think is really funny and ironic.
Ooh. Very interesting.
Why you gotta be all in my face though?
Alright, so we're leaving H&M now. I couldn't find another size in those pants, which is super disappointing, but I got other clothes instead. And then Rochelle got a bag of clothes.
So
where? Kind of got a bag of clothes. So we're going into Sephora now. They're probably gonna make us wear a mask because that's gonna suck. What? What'd you say? What, in H&M?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't make us wear a mask. They never do.
Were they? No, but they did. Did they have masks on?
Yeah, they did. They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Not paying attention.
They definitely did. Alright, so we are finally back from shopping. We went to Sephora, H&M, Ulta. We had to get some different things for Shekinah's photo shoot tonight, which again, I'm really excited for you guys to see that. Make sure that you go follow her right here, Instagram and Twitter, whatever, so that you can keep up with her. I wanted to answer a couple questions before I wrap this up. So we have a question here. It says, what denomination are you? Technically, I'm non-denominational. I guess you could say that I'm Reformed. I go to a church called Salvation by Grace. I think that it creates a lot of confusion when you're part of a denomination, even though there are some denominations I really respect, but I just believe the Bible. All right, what does being a woman mean to you? I really like this question actually because I think that femininity is such an important issue in today's culture. And I think that we are often confused now because the left and secular culture wants to mix up masculinity and femininity and what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a man. What I go back to is the Proverbs 31 definition of being a woman. Proverbs 31 verses 10 says, an excellent wife who can find, she is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. She considers the field and buys it. With the fruit of her hand she plants a vineyard. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hand to the distaff and her hand hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. And then skip down to 25. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. So that to me is what a woman is. A woman who fears God, who serves God, who loves her family, who embraces all of the femininity that God gave her, the fact that we have a nurturing spirit, the fact that we like to care about people, and we like to care for people. Those are things that to me is a woman, and I think that is so important in today's culture. And to all of you guys, especially young girls, I encourage you to embrace that femininity, to embrace the femininity that God gave you, and to live out your design, because you're going to be most fulfilled when you live out the calling and design that God gave for you. Just a couple more questions really quickly. What state are you from? I am from the state of Tennessee. Someone said, what age do you plan on getting married, and what's the oldest you will have a relationship with? I don't know. I will get married when I am ready to get married. I used to say that I hope I'm married before the age of 20. Well, now I'm 20 years old, and obviously I'm not married. What's the oldest you will have a relationship with? I don't really know how to answer that question. I think it just sort of depends on the guy. I think an older guy does not necessarily mean he is mature. It just means that he's older. I think maturity is more important than age, but I also would not be the type of person who marries someone who's like 3 times her age, because I just think that's super weird. Thoughts on people that won't date anyone that has tattoos of any kind? I mean, everybody has their preference, you know? Some people don't like tattoos, some people like tattoos. If you don't want to date someone with tattoos, that's fine. That's absolutely your preference. That's your decision. I don't want to go to college. What do you suggest? I do because I'm being mocked for what I want to do. First off, what do you want to do? I don't think college is a one size fits all. I really think that most people shouldn't go to college. I ended up going to college originally for accounting, and then I switched my major to marketing, and you really don't need to go to college for marketing. It depends on what you want to do. Here's what I would do, and here's my advice. If you're being mocked, the number one, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. But if you're also living under your parents, what I would suggest is this. If you don't want to go to college, if they really want you to go to college, then prove to them why you don't need to college. Lay out a plan. Tell them exactly what you're going to do, what your goals are, how you're going to achieve those goals in order to convince them that, hey, you don't need to go to college. And then maybe make them a deal and say, hey, can I please have a year, at least a gap year before I go to college? And I want to accomplish these goals in this year. If I don't accomplish these goals, then fine, you can send me to college, but at least give me a year or 2 years, whatever the number of years is. That's what I would do. That's my suggestion, because I know a lot of people still value college, even though I don't think college has that value anymore. So prove to them that you don't need to go to college to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. So that's all the questions we have time for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope that it was informative. I really thought we needed to talk about the Daunte Wright issue and that case. Be careful. When you watch the media, always know that there is an agenda, whether it's conservative media or leftist media. Look at all of the information and then make a conclusion based on that information. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next vlog. Remember, always be you, be authentic, and put God first. All right, see y'all later.